Well, it's a good thing we weren't paying attention to a stock market crash, right? We were talking about how this could really be faking people out in the shorter time frames. We were really talking about that. And I do apologize because over the weekend, I had to put a Patreon update for the squeeze type scenario. I had to put a Patreon update before market open on Monday to really discuss something. So I'll go over that early on in this video. And then I had appointments for our baby girl. But we did show off the fact that the 2-hour divergence actually showed up here in the SPX 500. So this was stated by me in that just to say, okay, hey, we have confirmed that. That means we don't necessarily have to go make that divergence at this point, but I'm still going to lean towards it because, hey, I like that type of opportunity. But instead, we would look for some kind of pullback above the 5-day at this point. So we overall updated Patreon suggesting that the scenario number 2, the higher low, would be the one to go with at this point. So I do apologize for not bringing this up over the weekend, but we were able to catch it before market open on Monday. Now, that meant that you had to have some confidence in it, and that meant that the 2-hour chart can make a move where, well, from that opening price, we can make a move up to that weekly expected move. Once again, not the most room for a trade, so I didn't necessarily participate in that move as of yet because I'm looking at the daily expected moves. I'm looking at this getting up to the weekly expected move by when? By almost to that weekly expected move by the end of Tuesday, and we have a little bit of time throughout the week, so maybe we can pay attention to a couple things. Let's go over the bear case. Even though the bear case is very low, as the daily chart has just curled up into positive territory again, we will always be aware of some signals to be aware of where it just goes, hey, I might not have the bear case along other things, right? Other charts, but I do see a couple things from volatility that say, hey, just be aware of it. It's more just a don't have money at risk when this thing is flashing. It'd be like, I'm not going to be bullish if the 2-hour curls down, right? So if the 2-hour chart is able to curl down here, you do have a form of divergence. Once again, that is formed, not confirmed on your MACD and RSI. We are in squeeze mode. We just took back the 5. So we're likely to see little retests of that. That's the more probable thing. But I do need to tell you that if this 2-hour rotates down, it is close to that center line. So I'm not going to have money at risk to the upside if that does confirm to the downside, just so you are aware. I will wait to see if that is able to turn around, or the 30-minute chart tells me that it wants to turn around. But do we see any hint that the 2-hour chart is going to collapse here? No, we do not. We do not see that from the 30-minute chart. We discussed this before many, many times, how the 30-minute chart will give you those hints. And as you get to that 75% of the time you will test one of these sides, in our 68% zone we calculate using the options market, this is a very likely area where the market starts to hesitate. We're going to go over the Qs in a moment just to show you how the SPY can leak a little bit higher. We can always squeeze a little bit higher. But if you get a pullback, it would be very likely from this area. We can come down, we can retest that 5. We can maybe come to a daily expected move and then see that curl up into positive territory, looking for this kind of shape on our MACD, or we can move sideways, sideways, sideways throughout the entire week, get this thing really close to that center line, and then curl up into positive territory again to see a breakout maybe on Thursday, late Thursday, or Friday. So we will be watching those levels, but for the daily expected move 695.08, we can squeeze up to that level. That tells you if we're going to continue to squeeze, look for 695.08. If we're going to pull back, somewhere you can pay attention to if you do not pull back with time, meaning sideways, you can pull back to 688.54. 688.54 would be a great level to watch. If you see a second standard deviation move, you would be coming into the center of this gap. And if you happen very quickly, you would still be overall positive in this move. This means that this is very, very likely to continue to be bullish, and we are looking for pullbacks to be met up with buyer demand, and that pullbacks is most likely where our opportunities lie. Okay, as we go forward into the Qs, though, there's a point to be made about these weekly expected moves. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. Once again, that 2-hour rotates down. That's the only risky signal out there as of right now. VIX is showing the same thing, but weekly expected move. Notice we haven't gotten there for the Qs. A lot of the time, you can see the SPY break through its weekly expected move because the Qs need to go tag that first before rotating down. But as we look, we say, hey, if the 2-hour curls down, that is risky. That is risky. I don't want to be a part of it, even though we see that good bullishness on the 30-minute. I just want to be cautious with that for a moment as a just in case. I don't want to be, in a bullish trade if the 2 hours confirmed down, right? I'm playing 2-hour moves to the upside. So if the 2-hour curls to the downside, that's the opposite of what I want to see. 627.92 for your daily expected move. So if we keep squeezing, watch 627.92. 618.92 would be a great level for a 30-minute pullback. We see that the 30-minute has gone very, very positive at this point. We're not even overbought yet, really, for the Q, so we can just see continued squeezing, but it would be very, very nice if the market gave you that opportunity. Once again, the Qs, though, were able to do something nice here. They were able to set up some 5-minute signals in here right at that 5-day moving average. So I believe the Qs, if you weren't in the move right away, like me, I wasn't paying attention to the 2-hour divergence in the futures. That's I'm kicking myself for it, but I'm on baby watch right now, so I'm not really trying to do too much crazy stuff. If you weren't part of that, you would still look for what goes on by this 5-day moving average. And if that's just able to reject and turn up, you would say, okay, we are going to chase that weekly expected move. But this is kind of what I wasn't excited for over the weekend, actually, was the higher low scenario, because there's just not a lot of room here. There's not a lot of room here for me. I like to make a decent amount so I don't have to really pay attention to it and kind of hope for a squeeze type thing. I would like to rather see this head to the upside just a little bit more, tag that weekly expected move, maybe pull down to that center line, right? Pull down to the center line in some way and curl up into positive territory. There is no signal here suggesting that the 2-hour can curl down. What we would be looking for the 2-hour to reject here would be some kind of divergence, some kind of lower high beneath that 5-day would really tell us there's weakness here. But since this is such a strong move, the trend is so positive now, the RSI is not even overbought yet, we can pull down into that daily expected move or just work our way sideways for a while before we're able to get out of some slightly overbought conditions and continue to the upside. So this is why we kept pointing out that we are very, you can go back and look, we are very likely to head up in January. Even though those daily signals are very bad, we understood, and we really put that out there on Saturday, that the weekly chart is completely different than last year. Everyone comparing these charts to last year is not paying attention to the fact that they are completely different. They can look the same, but be completely different on the bigger time frames and the actual internals. Right now, internally, a 30-minute pullback would be a great opportunity. We do see here that the VIX has actually seen the MACD go significantly negative compared to previous times where we did make higher lows. We did actually see a break of this level. So what we can see now and what we can look for is that 30-minute move like this that fails again, and we actually see the break. I would like to see the break of the 5-day moving average and see continued rolling, because there is one signal that I keep pointing out in this video, the 2-hour signal for the SPY. If that curls down, I don't think it's a crash signal. I think it's just a, hey, just be a little bit cautious here. Be a little bit cautious here, because you want to wait to see that thing can pull back and curl back up. You have good buyers all around. But it is something to be cautious about. If the 2-hour rotates up right now, you see a strong move from volatility that starts to take out all these levels, right? Strong move from volatility. This curls up. That's when you can see a little surge, because what's been happening? The market has been going up. The VIX has been going up, and the dollar as well actually has been overall going up. So we can see that if we pay attention to these type of things, we can just say, hey, okay, what's the risky thing? What's the really likely thing? Well, the really likely thing is that we are going to see some kind of 30-minute bounce for volatility that fails. That means we will get a 30-minute pullback for the SPY that curls back up into positive territory, whether that's sideways or down with price. Either way, I'm looking for a 30-minute pullback from the weekly expected move. If I see, and the risky thing would just be, hey, I don't want to be risked to the upside just yet. I need to wait a little bit more time for the market to prove itself. That would be if the 2-hour for volatility is able to curl up, and if the 2-hour for the SPY is able to curl down. There are forms of divergence here. I don't want to mess with those, even though I know that the 30-minute is in a serious positive trend, and the 30-minute is above the 5-day moving average and likely to reject that signal. We might hear people say crash, crash, crash again, but you should know that if that 30-minute is by the center line and this 2-hour is curled down, if the 30-minute curls up, that is a violation. That is a failure of the 2-hour divergence. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm sorry that I had to put this video out there, kind of just spurting it all out really quickly. I don't have a lot of time, and this is going to be a crazy month for me, guys. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the fact that I could even sit down and and talk with you guys about stocks for 10 minutes. I do appreciate you guys being a part of this community, and that's why I made this video for today. And I hope that you guys are able to take something helpful away from it, even if it is the fact that we are at the weekly expected move and looking for those potential opportunities above that 5-day moving average. So maybe we want to pay close attention to 688.54. Hey, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a fantastic night. I hope you're trading like water out there, and I will see you in the next one. I'm hoping to hop on tomorrow and get a little bit more extensive in this analysis for you. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Peace out.